This is the story of Shigeru Yoshida, and yet he's ugly, like really ugly. Next to him, Steven Tyler looks like a K-pop idol, but despite his face being a public safety hazard, Yoshida managed to get by. He landed a job in sales, and even though his looks could cause eye strain, his charisma was off the charts. Sure, women wouldn't even say thanks when he held the door open, but Yoshida didn't care about that stuff. Until that day. He was coming back from shopping when, on the subway, a girl suddenly screamed that he groped her. Yoshida, holding 2 heavy bags of instant noodles and discount shampoo, was like, "Lady, seriously? I've got both hands full. What am I gonna grope you with, my mind?" But fate wasn't on his side. As he tried to back away, he tripped and all his groceries spilled out, revealing a glorious mess of junk food, adult diapers, they were on sale, and a suspicious amount of canned mackerel. So now he wasn't just ugly, he was ugly and gross. People didn't even question it, they just believed the girl. The cops fined him 300 million yen. Yeah, that's like sell your soul and your kidneys money, but instead of fighting it, Yoshida pled guilty. He figured it was better to pay up and move on than to spend years proving he wasn't a creep, only to still be known as that nasty dude from the train. What he didn't expect was that no one wanted to be around him anymore. He got fired, ghosted, cancelled harder than a Netflix anime after 1 season. Years later, the girl was arrested. Turns out she had a hobby, falsely accusing ugly guys. But since she was a minor, she got a slap on the wrist and walked free. Yoshida's name? Still mud. That broke him. He didn't feel like he belonged in this world anymore. And what do you do when you feel like the world hates you? That's right. You become a League of Legends player. He locked himself in his room, lived off his savings and the allowance his parents still gave him, blessed them, and spent his days doom-scrolling Reddit, reading conspiracy theories and I got Isekai'D creepypasta. One day he found a weird post. It claimed there was a way to travel to another world, but it warned, don't mess up your stat allocation at the start or you'll regret it. Yoshida thought it was just fanfic nonsense. Still, the idea of a new world, a new life, it was tempting. So he tried it. The post said, leave your computer open behind you. Stand at your window with your hands in the air. Do it at exactly midnight. And so, like a true weeb summoning his destiny, Yoshida prepared to yeet himself into another world. And get this, it actually worked. His computer flashed a confirmation message. Yoshida thought, great, I just downloaded a virus from Reddit. But since he had nothing better to do and zero social life, he clicked accept just to see what would happen. Suddenly, a character creation screen popped up. It showed his name, gender, male, and age, 16. The only thing he could change was his appearance. And for some reason, only the gods of bad decisions understand. He cranked his appearance stat down to negative 255. Immediately, a new screen appeared, stat distribution. And holy XP, his available points skyrocketed. Apparently, the uglier you are, the more points you get. Take notes, min-maxers. He also got to choose special traits. And this dude, he went full masochist. He gave himself negative traits like only earning a tiny percentage of any money he finds, losing HP every second he touches a girl. And worst of all, if he ever consummates a relationship, if you catch my drift, he'll instantly go bankrupt and die permanently. But hey, silver lining. He gave himself a passive that earns him absurd amounts of XP for doing basically nothing. He dumped 100 billion points into his skills, hit confirm, and poof, vanished from the world. He woke up in a weird cabin. And now, he wasn't just ugly, he was ugly and fat. That's what negative 255 appearance looks like, folks. In the room were 3 others. A pretty boy, 2 waifus, and of course the waifus were in their underwear, because anime logic. It was cold, so the pretty boy gave his shirt to one of the girls. Yoshida tried to do the same, offering his shirt to the other waifu. She looked at him and said, nah, I'll take the cold. The pretty boy introduced himself as Seiji, age 16. The blonde waifu also said she was 16 but didn't give her name. The other girl was named Seika. Apparently everyone defaults to 16 in this world. Thanks, Isekai algorithm. Yoshida introduced himself too, claiming to be 16. But with his size and receding hairline, he looked more like someone's divorced uncle who sells NFTs. They all admitted they'd done the same computer ritual to get here. No one freaked out, no questions, just, oh cool, new world, let's vibe. Yoshida wasn't here to make friends. He planned to solo this life like he did the last one. So he started rummaging through drawers and found a gold coin. But the second he touched it, poof, it vanished. Thanks to his dumb trait that nerfs his income, the group explored the cabin. It had basic supplies for 4 people. Except, there were only 7 gold coins. Almost like one had mysteriously disappeared. Yoshida played it cool. He told them to split the coins among themselves. He didn't need money, but in exchange he asked for the axe. The others weren't thrilled about that deal. Seiji told him that if he tried to solo again, he'd just fail like in his old life. Oof, projection much. But then Seiji said he wanted to do things right this time and was willing to work as a team. Everyone agreed. They split the weapons using rock, paper, scissors. Yoshida lost, so he ended up with a stick, like a literal caveman stick. Captain Caveman would be proud. The squad decided to head to the nearest town, but the moment they opened the cabin door, BAM! A goblin jumped them like it was camping spawn points. Seiji didn't hesitate. He went full berserker and split the goblin in half with his axe. But then, more goblins showed up. Like a lot more. Seiji and the blonde waifu charged in like a shonen tag team. Yoshida? He stood in the back like a concerned NPC. Seika was supposed to help with her ba, but she couldn't even tie the string. Then, whack! A goblin smacked Yoshida right on the butt with a stick. Yoshida figured, time to show off my broken stats. He swung his caveman stick at the goblin's head. Nothing. The goblin didn't even flinch. Then it hit him. He forgot to assign his skill points. He dumped everything into special traits and left his stats at 0. Well, time to go old school. He gripped his stick and smacked the goblin with everything he had. Crack! The goblin went down. Suddenly, a screen popped up. Level up. Thanks to his busted XP multiplier, he gained a ridiculous number of levels. His teammates leveled up too and started distributing their points. Yoshida watched how they did it, then casually opened his own menu and dumped his billions of points across every stat. The system glitched. His status changed to absolute. He was now a literal god. Another goblin ran up and started whacking him. Yoshida didn't even blink. He flicked the goblin with one finger. Team Rocket Star launched into the sky. Meanwhile, Seiji and the blonde were still fighting and Seika was still losing to her own bow. She started crying, frustrated and embarrassed. Yoshida saw her struggling. He knew she was too proud to ask for help. So he faked it. He clutched his hands and said, "Oh no, I've been cursed with the Kantai-bow syndrome. Please let me try before it's too late." Seika, moved by his struggle, handed him the bow. Lucky for her, Yoshida had spent years watching random YouTube tutorials while living off his parents. One of them, how to tie a bowstring. He activated his god-tier dexterity. Pim pam done. Seika was impressed. "Were you on the archery team or something?" She handed him the first shot. Yoshida tried to decline but she insisted. He had to be careful. Touching girls drained his HP. He checked his skill list and picked the one with the coolest name. He fired. The arrow flew straight into the sky. Everyone thought he missed. But then, a portal opened in the clouds, and out came a dragon. Not Shenron granting wishes. This one was here to obliterate goblins. Seika stared, stunned. "What was that?" Yoshida handed back the bow. "Just a little trick I picked up in archery club. But goblins are like herpes. Just when you think they're gone, more show up." Seika was finally ready. She fired arrows like she was in a gacha banner event. Somehow she missed every single one. She checked her skills and found one that let her turn anything she touched into arrows. "Convenient," Yoshida whispered behind her. "Ha! Hey, look, I think there are some arrows right there." Seika lit up and started firing again, this time with actual results. The team wiped out the goblins and finally continued toward the city. By afternoon, they arrived. They hadn't eaten all day, so naturally, they hit up the local burger stand. Because sure, it's a medieval fantasy world. But even here, there's a McDonald's. Everyone rushed in, excited, except Yoshida. He liked them, sure, but he was still in solo mode. He wandered to a fountain, stomach growling. He saw a cat and briefly wondered if it was edible. Petable. Definitely petable. But then he remembered, if it's a girl cat touching it could kill him. Suddenly, boo! Seika appeared behind him. Yoshida freaked and fell into the fountain. She held out a burger almost as big as her head, a thank you gift for helping with the bow. He tried to refuse, but his stomach betrayed him with a loud growl. Seika insisted, "You're broke, right? If you don't eat now, what are you gonna eat?" He accepted, but when he grabbed the burger, his finger brushed hers. Zap! He lost a huge chunk of HP. Seika looked hurt. She thought he was rejecting her food. Yoshida panicked. He apologized and said, "You're so pretty I got nervous. I'll eat it off the ground to prove I'm grateful." He tapped into his old salesman charm. He was rusty but determined to win her over like he did with clients back in the day. Seika stopped him. "Don't eat off the ground, dummy." She gave him the rest of her lunch. She said it was no big deal. She had money, and she knew he was the one who gave her those arrows. Yoshida was touched. She was the same girl who looked at him like a walking disease that morning. Now, he kinda liked her, so he decided maybe he'd stick with the group a little longer. If you made it this far into the video and want me to keep recapping this hilarious anime, drop a comment with the word bunny girl. Thanks a ton for watching.